Hello, welcome back to the bottom. My name is Beast, and I'm a bastard that's made a fucking Sword Soul deck in Yu-Gi-Oh! It's Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel now. Yeah, I've become a rat, a dirty, stinking rat that has decided he's going to build a goddamn Sword Soul deck. It's Sword Soul 10 Yi even. Not a singular Yang Zing card, though. Mainly because they were apparently too expensive for me. Also, the combo routes are too fucking complicated the moment you include those, so it actually is just 10 Yi Sword Soul, like down, like straight up with Fist of the unrivaled 10 Yi. Anyways, enough about that. Like, it's been a while since I last talked about D&D in one of these videos. It's really weird. It's kind of transitioned into Kingdom Hearts and Yu-Gi-Oh! Now. It feels odd. Need to make a D&D character after this. Okay. Repeat yourself, please. So what? We're currently sitting atop the roof, eating lunch made by Mio. Everybody stops their hands and directs their attention towards Tsukasa. Today, we've invited the new resident, Tomine Tsukasa, to come join us up here for lunch from now on. Incidentally, Mio also made a lunchbox for her. Itch! The plan is to all get together once lunch comes, go to Tsukasa's classroom to pick her up, and then come here to eat. It's a bit of an aside, but as a bit of an aside, Tsukasa's in class 1-3 and she sits in seat number 7. That tells me nothing. I recall the look of pure joy on her face as she informed me so. She was curling her fists in eager excitement. From the looks of it, she hasn't quite given up on her shoulder massaging business. Well, that's enough flashbacks for now. You said you were going to the beach? She nods vigorously, but carefully cradles the lunchbox from Mia to ensure the food doesn't jumble around. I'm referring to Zuzu. So you still have a contract with her? Oops, that's great to hear. Wait, we're going to the beach this weekend? Oh, yeah, on your cell phone? You have a phone, Tsukasa. I have to say, I didn't quite expect her to. Okay, I bet you were happy about that, huh? Tsukasa reaches into her skirt pocket and pulls out a pink cell phone. Ugh. Oh yeah, right, something that I haven't talked about yet. A couple of days ago I found out how apparently the nearby village that we live close to. Like, we don't quite live inside the village, we live like right outside of it. But we still view ourselves as part of it, essentially. And we found out how some of the people view us there because they, for some reason, just think we are rich and own 4 houses. And I don't know what gave them that idea. Like, what the fuck? Did they see the small little hut that we use to fucking store supplies and shit? Like the small wooden hut. And say that's a fucking house? If that's the case, there's one less fucking house now. It's freshly torn down. So yeah, apparently... apparently the people in the village that I live in are just think that we are the posh fuckers of the village, which could not be further from the truth. Did you just say posh? There are numerous things I want to comment on, but I decided to remain silent for the time being.
お兄さんはお電話の電源を入れていないみたいだとのことで、なので私の方にご連絡があったようなのです。
Is it off? Words prompt me to reach into my pocket to take out my cell phone and I soon noticed something. Sorry, I actually forgot to bring it.
不携帯か。それじゃあ確認のしようがないじゃないか。
No whether it was even turned on in the first place.
ああ、はい、そうなのです。
What's up?
夏目お姉さんがおっしゃっていました。お兄さんはあまり携帯電話にこだわらないといったようなところがあるので、ちょくちょく連絡がつかないことがあるのだとか。
Right.
だからこれからは私が緊急用の連絡係として任命されました次第です。
Jed, what? Are you serious?
はい、そうなのです。
She gives a firm salute.
これからはずっとおそばに控えています。もちろんお邪魔にならないようにこじんまりと。どうかよろしくお願いいたします。
She ends with a deep bow. Oh. Okay. Thanks. Caught up in the rush of things, I respond with a bow of my own.
海ですか。
Kind of amused herself whilst eating lunch provided to her by Neil.
確か海開きの日って7月の20日前後が定番ですよね。
Oh yeah, General.
今週末というとまだ海開きが済んではいませんが大丈夫でしょうか。
What are you asking exactly?
町の偉い人に怒られちゃったりとかでしょうか。
There won't be a problem with the city, most likely. The beach season is just when most people tend to go to the beach. Because it's the ideal weather. I doubt it. Still perfectly need to go and play in the ocean, even outside of beach season.
そうですか?
Well, depending on the beach. Anyhow, the tourists will start pouring in once summer vacation starts. So if we go now, it'll be less crowded so we can relax and enjoy ourselves. What's wrong, Mia? You're kind of groaning over there.
私、水着持ってない。
No, you don't.
学校指定の水着はあるけど、だけどもう合わなくなってるし。
Oh, I guess you grew taller, huh? Now you mention it, I've only got my school trunks. How about we... I considered inviting her to go swimsuit shopping with me later when that thought suddenly occurs to me. Do you have one, Kana?
はい、ありがとうございます。私は持っています。
Ah, okay. I can't say I expected her to.
少し前に夏目さんから使わなくなった洋服をたくさんいただいたんですが、その時に水着が入っていましたから、サイズもぴったりだと思います。夏目さんと胸のサイズも近いですから、私。
Okay. I quickly averted my eyes. How could you even say something like that with a straight face? I'm at a completely lost for words.
私もメイドのお姉さんと一緒です。ありがたいことに、お兄さんのお姉さんにいただいた水着がありますので。僕も大丈夫。
Alright, so most of us are good on swimsuits. You being the only one in need of one. And you.
ユーマさん、 私思うんですけど、
Sure, what's up?
水着だけじゃなくてもう一つ考えないといけないことがあると思うんです。
Oh.
はい、海水浴に出かけるということは、多分その日の昼食が、要するにお弁当が必要だということになりますよね。
You're not entering the kitchen. No, sure. Depends on what time of day we decide to go, but either way, we'll probably need food at some point. Doubt we'll be able to get anything decent from the beach shacks around this time of year. Alright, I'll make the lunches. Mio deserves a break every now and then.
別に大変でもないし、私は構わないけど。
But won't it feel nice to not have to do it every now and then?
そう、それならその日はお願いしてもいい？
Sure thing, but don't expect him to measure up to yours in terms of taste. Yeah, Kana, you look like you want to interject?
私が作ります。
No! Huh? Hey, what?
お弁当です。その日のお弁当は私が作ります。いいえ、作らせてください。ぜひにでも。
No! Nope, definitely not! Okay, wait one sec.
待つってどうしてですか？
Well, how do I go about explaining this? I was hoping she'd get the hint and not press me further, but she's still staring at me in utter confusion. I don't think this needs repeating at this point, but Kanna's not a good cook. Her dishes are akin to poison. One taste of it has the power to kill a man. Make no mistake, her culinary concoctions are extremely dangerous bioweapons, powerful enough to rip one's very soul out of their body and send it to the afterlife. I think you still need more practice before you're ready for something like this. Merely recalling the first time I tasted one of her lunches leaves every cell in my body quivering with fear. The trauma from that experience left a deeper scar than I thought, it seems. Must have been a warning. This must be a warning from the area of my brain responsible for death aversion, or at least keeping me mentally sound.
ダメですか？私がお弁
Not
当を作っているのは。
necessarily. Not, I quickly correct myself and shake my head. I'm not saying you absolutely can't. It's hard to tell her no when she looks at me so imploringly. I just don't think you're quite ready yet.
でも、こういう日のために毎晩一人で料理の練習してきたんです。私、
You've been practicing.
皆さんが眠った後にこっそり頑張ってました。
Oh, have you?
はい、そうなんです。この頃
Mio?
この頃ね、冷蔵庫の中身が減るのが早いな、おかしいなって思ってたの。すみません、勝手に使っちゃってました。
She frowns
ある程
apologetically.
度使ったら補充しようとは思ってたんですが。失敗した料理の行方は？あ、はい、それはですね、最初の方は管理人さんが食べてくださっていました。味の確認も含めて。真夜中に厨房でゴソゴソしていたのがバレちゃいまして、
Oh.
事情を説明しましたら味見役をしてくれると言ってくださいました。感想を言ってくれる人がいた方が練習になるだろうからって。
Huh. So what kind of feedback did he give?
はい、
She juts out her chest
と
confidently.
ても美味しいと言ってくれました。
He did.
ですが管理人さん、この頃ちょっと体の調子が悪かったみたいで。
How so?
はい、箸を進められるたびに顔色が青に近づいていかれるので、よっぽど体調が優れなかったんだと思います。
Right.
それなのに無理をして食べてくださって、もしかしてお熱でもあるのかなと思ってお粥を作りましょうかとは言ったのですが、それはいいとのことで、とにかくそういうわけで管理人さんはとても美味しいとおっしゃってくれましたが、もう少し練習したくて今日までかかってしまいました。
Still, I have to ask. Did he eat everything you cooked for him? No crumbs or anything?
はい、毎日残さずきれいに食べてくださいましたよ。
God. On offer a prayer for this poor man's departed soul. Perhaps Connor's nightly cooking endeavors were one of the reasons why he left the dorm.
ど
Question.
うでしょう？
Do you ever taste any of the food that you make?
しませんよ。そういうのはマナー違反だと聞いたので。
Seriously?
行儀が悪いからやめなさいって。今のは納得できるような理由だったかな。
Honestly, probably not. Man, Shigura, I appreciate you don't want to hurt the residents' feelings, but come on. Sometimes giving someone the cold hard truth is in their best interest.
正直な感想ですか？
She cocks her head in puzzlement. Oh, nothing, just talking to myself. I shamefully avert my gaze.
弱いな。
Just can't bring myself to tell her the truth. I'm too scared that I'll hurt her feelings.
自分で自分の作った料理を食べてみろと。一言言えばそれで済むのに。
That also scares me. She might legitimately cry from the shock.
とにかく今日までの特訓の成果を発揮したいんです。
Oh, okay.
前回はユウマさんにちょっと格好悪いところを見せてしまいましたけど。
Previous mishap. Oh, right. Sam ate that dreadful lunch of hers and it very nearly had my soul pulled from my body.
でも今回は大丈夫です。美味しいって言ってもらえるように私頑張りましたから。
Really? Are you really sure it'll be fine? If there's even a modicum of doubt in your mind, then I think you should wait and practice some
だ
more.
から大丈夫なんですってば。
She pouts grumpily. While moving on, we really need to get back to discussing the beach trip.
わかりました。
ど
うしても信用していただけないのなら、今日の夕飯の出来で判断してください。
What you just say?
もしも私が今日のお夕飯を上手に作ることができたなら、週末のお弁当は私に任せてください。
Is this really that important to you?
ダメですか？
She looks at me with pleading eyes. What do I do? Forget the weekend. We might be eating our last supper tonight. I can already eerily picture the dining room area as the dead bodies begin dropping like flies. Kana?
はい、
Is there nothing I can say to talk you out of this?
頑張ります。
Right, that's your. Ah! How on earth am I gonna stop her? As the acting door manager, I have to avoid this impending catastrophe at all costs. I sink into thought. How can I convince her to stop while not hurting her feelings, given that she's bringing with enthusiasm?
別にいいじゃない。
What?
ここまで言うんだから作ってもらえばいいのに。
No, but I just I can't just come on.
もしもちょっと美味しくなかったからって誰も文句なんて言わないわよ。
Mio, you don't understand.
じゃあ何なの？別に死ぬわけでもないでしょ。
Oi, mate!
だったら好きにしてもらえばいいじゃない。
I have vivid flashbacks of the near-death experience I had the last time I was cooking. Mio, I love you, but it couldn't be more wrong. It may well kill me.
私メイドなお姉さんのお料理食べてみたいです。
Tsukasa.
僕も食べてみたいと思う。
Everyone's gonna die tonight!
そうね、私もちょっと食べてみたいなって思うわ。
You guys, they know nothing. Only because of their ignorance can they stand here and say the things they do.
皆さんありがとうございます。
Completely off topic, but you don't know that there was one instance of Cthulhu being in an SMT game, yet it didn't look like humanoid with squid face or something like that. It's literally just scaly squid with a penis in the middle. Very weird design. Kana immediately responds to their interest with glee. She claps her hands together, placing them atop her chest.
私全力全開で頑張りますね。
The beaming smile on her face stretches from ear to ear.
なんだかまとまりつつあるな。
I'm no longer responsible for anything that happens to them beyond this point. Oh no, it's a crime scene. Oh, I come to check the manager's office after school. I found a surprise waiting for me. You're back. Shiguro himself is there sitting at his desk.
ああ、うん。ちょっと商用あってね。一旦戻ってきたんだ。
Oh, okay. Well, anyhow, welcome back, Shiguro.
あ、ただいま。何か僕が留守の間に問題とかはなかったかな？
Oh, big one's about to come up. Nothing noteworthy. I proceed to give him a brief overview of everything that happened in his absence, how Mia's been doing, how now that she's finally moved here, and about Tsukasa working for Zuzu. I also inform him of the slight incident that happened in the merchant town. Hence his appearance at the butterfly we saw in the mountains that seemed oddly reminiscent of Shigure's seeklings.
そうか。そんなことがあったのか。
Luckily it led us to run, but I'm still curious what that seekling wasn't yours, was it?
さあ、どうだろう。
Don't fucking beat around the bush with me, Shigure. Why are you being so evasive? I furrow my brow at his vague, nonchalant response.
君が山の中で見たのは僕の指揮であるのか、それともそうではないのか。その判断は君に任せることにするよ。
This isn't a you need to learn you need to grow type lesson. This is just being obstinate. Fuck off, Shigure. Why are you answering me like that? There's clearly something you're not telling me here.
まあいいじゃないか。いろいろと説明のしづらいこともあるんだ。
I'm going to fucking end you. Well, okay. All I can do is concede and leave the matter at that. So, you're back because of something
ま
urgent?
あそうだね。休養といえば休養だ。君と少し話をしておこうと思ってね。
You want to talk with me?
ああ、そうだ。僕は君にこの寮の管理人形を代行してもらいたいと、そうお願いしたわけだけど。
Right.
それなのに、思えば僕はまだ君に寮生たちの情報を何一つとして教えていなかったことを思い出してね。
Huh.
言うなれば、緊急連絡先を記した名簿だとか、そういったものの引き渡しがまだだったということだね。
Isn't it a bit late to be realizing that?
そう、今更なんだ。
He smiles
君
ruefully.
に管理人代行を任せたと言っておきながら、管理人が知っておくべき最低限だと思われる寮生たちの情報を君に話していなかっ
This
た。
man is terrible at his job.
それを思い出したから、こうして急いで戻ってきたんだよ。後任者である君に管理人業務のバトンを渡すためには、もう少し密に引き継ぎ作業を行う必要があるなと思ったんだよ。
More
そう
material.
住人たちの抱える事情を最低限でも把握しておかなければ、もしも彼女たちの身に何か問題が起きたとき、十分に動けないかもしれないだろ。
I'm sorry, what?
ともかく、そういった万が一の時に備えて、これから君に管理人業務の引き継ぎを行いたいと思う。
Sorry for forgoing such an important measure in my rush the other day. He apologized while scratching the back of his head in embarrassment. This is merely a student accommodation dorm. Is it really necessary for a teacher, for the manager to be so knowledgeable about the residents? Even so, I put aside my skepticism for the moment. If I get that I don't particularly like being the acting manager, would that make any difference to you? He grimaces and rubs his chin in
論
contemplation.
外ではないけれど、僕としてはあまり嬉しいタイプの返答ではないかな。ほとんど無理やりに近い形で君を巻き込んでしまった僕が言えた義理じゃないのは重々承知なのだけれどね。
That's fine, don't worry about it. I shake my head after a small intake of breath. Okay, I'll see this job through to the end, I think.
そうか、ありがとう。そう言ってもらえると僕は嬉しいよ。
I reflect over everything that's happened these past few days. Room 101, Minamikana. She supposedly made a promise with me long ago and came to this town specifically to search for me. Room 102. This is the first time we've seen her room ever since she actually moved all her stuff in here. I know that's probably supposed to be like a remote for the TV or something, but it just... it looks like a fucking like a fucking card reader at a cashier. I mean, who knows? Maybe that's what it is. She just does a bunch of online shopping or something. Who knows? Maybe she's a shopaholic. Room 102, Kisaragi Miu. She moved here supposedly because she didn't want to go back home, as she told me. Room 103, Shikishima Kyo. She's a girl who lived in her dorm, shut away from the outside world for years. Room 201 told me it's Tsukasa. She's in a situation where she needs money in order to pay back a debt to someone. That about sums up what I know regarding each of their circumstances. It might be beneficial for me to mentally organize all of this information, or even possibly make an effort to learn more about their individual situations.
管理人代行を真剣にこの先もやっていこうと考えるなら、話を聞いておいて損になるようなことはないと思うよ。
どうしたユウマくん？
Nothing. I'll hear what you have to tell me about the residents.
よし、わかった。僕が話せることを君に話そう。
Thank you. Alright. Who should I ask about first? This is probably what the fucking route order is about. This, like, the last one, like the last two probably, possibly. Maybe Ichinose is somehow going to lead to like a fucking hidden true ending or something like, or some bullshit like that. Actually, no, what if choosing Ichinose here is what actually leads down Shinku's route once we actually get to her? It's possible. Yeah, guess we save here. What the fuck? Oh, opening the save menu just doesn't have a sound. That fucking scared me for a second. Save. So, route split is always at the start of the second page. Since someone did tell me that apparently the route order, like the choices are supposed to be in this chapter, and it's like you choose multiple people and it's depending on who do you choose first or something. So I actually think I'm going to choose Kyo, Tsukasa, Suzu here. So, Shikushima Kyo.
さてと、103号室の引きこもり。じゃなかった。住人の話をしよう。
I have a lot of questions about Kyo.
なるほど。わかった。それではまず、君の質問に答えていく形で進めようか。
Okay, sure. I pause for a brief moment to think. What should I ask first? First question. Why does she never leave her room?
ダイレクトな質問だな。
He shoots me a look of
そう
exasperation.
だな。それについては、どう説明していいか少し困るけど、あの子は僕の親戚の子なんだ。
You're related.
あ、彼女の家族に僕と親しくしてくれているやつがいてね。そいつの願いで、ある期間だけ、あそこの部屋にかくまっているような形になったんだ。
Okay. So she's not necessarily a recluse by personal choice. There seems to be more to her story than I initially anticipated. So what did this person ask you to shelter her from?
悪いが、これ以上は管理人業務の範囲外となる。だから話すことはできない。僕とそいつの個人的な付き合いの話だからね。
Alright. Continues with a rueful grin informed me that he's since broken off his friendship with this person, so it's rather difficult to get into contact with them. She could have having for falling out with a friend. It's a bit hard to imagine from someone as good-natured as him. In any case, though, I get the impression I shouldn't pry for more details, so I'll simply move on to the next question. Are you the one who buys all of Kyo's mangas and games and whatnot?
うん、そうだよ。
I know this might not be my place to say, but, don't you think you're spoiling her a bit much?
いや、僕もそう思わないではなかったんだけど、なんていうのかな。せがまれるとついついね。
He's going to become the picturesque, doting grandfather one day. I can already see it. There's something else that worries me. It's kind of been bugging me lately. Since I'm the acting manager, does that mean if Kyo begs me to buy her something, I have to get it for her? Frankly, I don't know if I can handle
い
that.
や、君がそこまでする必要はないよ。
Okay. What a relief. That means I can finally fix Kyo's exorbitant spending habits while
あ
you're...
の子に何かを買ってあげるときに使うお金は、ちゃんと押し入れに置いてあるから。それを遠慮なく使ってくれ。
Despite admitting that he's spoiling her too much, he doesn't seem too keen on changing his ways. Well, if that's what you want, Shigure, then I won't object. I really shake my head as I heave a
今日
sigh.
についてはもう何もないかい？以上か
Can I ask you one more
な。
thing?
もう一つ？何かな？
I want to ask about the Seekling account in the mountains. If my hunch is right, then I know who was responsible for it.
どうしたんだい？質問は？
Never mind, I've forgotten what my question was.
おいおい、なんだよそれは。
He smiles
その
wryly.
年で健忘症か？気をつけるんだよ。そういうのを予防するには生活習慣が大事でね。
Bitch, I am the foremost fucking authority on having a memory loss. Don't you lecture me about this. As he lightly reprimands me, I begin to gather my thoughts. When I asked him about Seekling earlier, he dodged the question. I have no reason to believe he won't do that again. Well, if my conjecture is right, then that Seekling wasn't his at all. It belonged to someone else entirely. Forget it, I'm just being too nosy. Tell me not to worry about it, so that's what I ought to do. It's more likely something I don't need to know about right now. So I'll leave it alone for the time
と
being.
いうわけで、食生活というものがどれだけ大切なのか分かってもらえたと思うが。と、ちゃんと聞いてくれていたかな？僕の話を。
Oh, yeah, I'm listening. Eat healthy and get lots of sleep, right?
うん、まあそういうことだ。
So is that everything you can tell me about Shikishima Kyo?
君がそれでいいのなら以上だ。
Okay. Shikishima Kyo, the recluse of room 103, is related to Shigure. That should suffice for now. Alright, who should I ask about next? Tomine Tsukasa. Can you tell me about Tsukasa? Here's the thing, actually. Now that I really think about it. From a logic standpoint, the people that makes most sense for him to ask about are actually Kyo, Tsukasa, and Ayumu. Since those are the three people he knows the least about that he is aware that he knows. Because Mio, he seems to know Mio more than him, if anything. Like, sure, there may be some things that she kept from him and told him, but as a requirement for fucking moving in here or something. But that's still like quite a stretch in logic in a certain way. Then Kana is intentionally hiding things about herself. So, who's to say that anything that she hides actively, he would share with him in the first place? So, quite frankly, asking about her is a waste of time. And Suzu, he works for Suzu, and quite frankly, I don't trust Suzu to keep a secret to save her fucking life. So yeah, in the end, it actually does make sense to ask about those three. Because Kyo, he was just suddenly like, hey, go take care of that room, and suddenly, oh hey, there's a person in there who keeps referring to him as brother, even though they aren't related, as far as we know. I will say. Anyways, so it does make sense for him to be curious about her. He also knows that Tsukasa has a debt, and that it somehow is being paid through him. However, he's never actually had a conversation about that with him, so he does actually not know if he would be willing to share that or not. So it makes sense to ask about that again. And the sense of Ayumu, again, he's just a random-ass fucking transfer student that just showed up one day, and he barely knows anything about him, so it makes sense to ask about him as well.
201号室の彼女の話だね。
Yeah, she's the one who surprised me most of all.
驚いた？何があったんだい？
Tell him about how Tsukasa was standing on the street in the shopping district selling shoulder massages.
それはなるほど。面白いことがあったんだね。
It's nothing to laugh about. I'm a little miffed about his response. We could have avoided this whole fiasco if you just told me about her a little
彼
earlier.
女については 簡単な手紙を置いといただろ
Only after a few days. You didn't put it in a very discoverable place.
まああの手紙の内容では相互理解が取れないなと思ったからこそこうして帰ってきたわけだがね
He smiles ruefully. There just aren't words enough to describe this man. Tsukasa told me that she has to make debt payments to a certain
そう
person.
らしいね
Well, I already know it's not, but I figured I'll ask anyway. Is that person
う
you?
んそうだな僕じゃないよただ彼女がお金を渡す誰かとの仲介を僕がしていたのは確かだ
Using the cabinet.
その通り
Has an innumerable amount of things I want to ask him, so I'm not sure where to start. When I get a better grasp on things, I'll start from the very top.
何かな
Why is Tsukasa living here? A lot of the residents of this dorm come from rather a typical background, Tsukasa included, so I never really gave it much thought, but is she... When I first noticed the oddity of it, it only began to bug me more and more.
あの子は
Okay,
こことは違う別の世界で生まれた子
we have another worlder here.
だけどその世界でどうにもこうにもいかない状況に面したらしくてねそこをちょうど旅で回っていた僕が通りかかりこの寮に連れ帰ったという形になったんだそして司はその世界ではもう暮らしていけないから今はここに住んでいる
Someone actually talked about this in the comments as well, how since last part the game phrased something as that other world being these otherly worlds, where I guess in the original translation, if I remember correctly, it said that they just say isekai as an other world, but you know it would sound odd and shit like that. So my thought process is that just separate them into the other worlds, as in the worlds that is not the quote-unquote main one that he inhabits, and homeworld being the one that he lives in. And then they actually use homeworld here. Just, you know, not in the way that I was intending. Anyways. Is that one the one connected to us via the cabinet number 11, I think it was. That's the one her mother's money has sent through. Talking is hard.
そういうことだね
So what exactly is she meaning? So who exactly is she sending his money
そ
to?
こまではちょっとわからないなこれは本当だただ僕が漠然と理解しているのはその相手というのは彼女の命を救った誰かであるそうだ
He saved her life. I don't know what happened to her, but I lack the information to even imagine what sort of incident it might have been. Still, does this mean that the reason behind that outrageously large debt lies in the fact that they saved her life? Even so, it's an awful lot of money.
だから僕が代わりに支払っておこうとは何度も言ったんだけど彼女は頑として受け入れてくれなくてね
Oh, I know, I tried that as well.
丁寧にご遠慮されたという具合だろ
He nods, flashing a sardonic
今回
smile.
は夏目くんがうまい具合にしてくれたみたいだけどね
Yeah, and I'm very glad for that.
201号室の彼女については今後も懸念が大きかったりするんだもう少し何か対処法を考えておきたかったのにというのが本当だ
Like, I'm completely honest when it comes to interest in the routes. I actually am most interested in going into Tsukasa's route now after hearing this small dialogue. I might actually go back to the save and do Tsukasa first in case that somehow decides route order or something. Well, I guess all we can do is wait and see what comes next. What comes of things.
そうかもしれないな
He exhales before continuing.
201号室遠峰司については以上だ何か他に質問あるかな
No, that was good enough. Honestly, though, I was hoping to learn a bit more about her. You've told me all the necessary information, so I'm satisfied. I'll leave the matter at that. No, enough for the time being. Some hamster, I should be able to handle it more effectively than last time. With new information, I believe I'll be able to take the right course of action as acting manager. Alright, who should I ask about next? Natsume Suzu! Do you mind if I ask about Suzu?
別にいいが彼女は君の師匠だろ 君が彼女のことについて今さら何を知りたいと思うことがあるんだろ
Well, a couple of
う。なる
things.
ほど。で、何を聞きたいんだい？
Let's see. When I was a young boy, I first awoke in my apartment, then met Susan in the storm and ultimately decided to become a liberator. I've been around her ever since I was a kid, but I still feel like there's a lot I don't know about
そう
her.
か。彼女はあまり自分のことを話そうとしないたちだからな。
How long has she been living here? When did you move in? What's her relationship
う
to
ー
you?
ん、そうだな。順を追って話そうか。関係性を明確にすると、彼女は僕の幼馴染となるかもしれない。あくまでも一般的な視点から見たもので言えばね。そして彼女はどうしてここに住んでるのかというと、あれ？どうしてだったかな？
He tilts his head to the side, clueless. What?
悪い。思い出せないな。
How does that happen?
彼女は僕の幼馴染で、だからここに住んでいたとしても何ら問題はなさそうだけれど、そのきっかけは、おかしい。
Was his memory messed with? I suddenly have a very bad feeling about Suzu. He looks utterly baffled by this lapse in
どう
memory.
いうわけだ？全然思い出せない。
Look of genuine concern appears on his face. Well, don't worry, you don't have to tell me if it's some of a
い
secret.
や、無理をしているとか話をはぐらかしているとか、そういうことじゃなくてだね。
He nods himself, then looks. That look of worry is still there. If you can't recall it, though, there's nothing you can do about that. As somebody with a whole host of experience dealing with memory lapses, I understand all too well the concern he feels. It's a frightening thing, not being able to remember something that you want to. That's fine. If you eventually remember why Susan initially began living here, though, please tell me.
うん、そうだな。そうするよ。おかしいな。こんなこと忘れようがないと思うんだがな。
Now I've just had the feeling that even the whole she's a childhood friend is a lie. Just fabrication that was implanted into his mind. And that, like, all she needed was a reason, like a excuse, quote unquote, to stay there, and the childhood friend was enough excuse for someone like Shigure to be like, okay, without thinking about it too hard. But now that he's being actively questioned, he's suddenly starting to, wonder what the fuck's actually going on. I'm actually getting very, very sus about Suzu now. There is the whole thing where she said that reading the books automatically gives you the powers that they would have gotten in their next life. And when they were retrieving the book, she did look through the book. Like, it was posted as to check, quote unquote. But what if it wasn't? What if she is actively collecting these books to gather the powers? Or alternatively, because she has such a thirst for knowledge, hence why she's buying all those books all the time. And that thirst for knowledge is growing to a degree where she wants to read every book in the library, even if it would essentially ruin a bunch of people. There is a possibility about those being the case. And I suddenly have a very bad feeling about that. He mutters to himself, questioning it one more time before
とり
continuing.
あえず、202号室の住人、夏目鈴については以上だ。
Sure.
と言ってしまっていいのだろうか。
Oops.
これ
We're
は
better off not dragging this out any longer. I don't want it to keep racking his brains. I know full well how it feels to forget the memories you once shared with a childhood friend. And I want him to go through that exact same
さて、
experience.
以上かな。
Slightly over an hour has passed as we went around the remaining residents and discussed
これ
them.
で全ての住人の話をし終わったわけだが、
Okay, let's load. Let's do what I set out to do. Skasa.
201号室の彼女、驚い
Hold
た。
on.
何があったんだい？それはなるほど。彼女につ
I'm
いて
waiting for
まあ
music to start.
そうらしいね。
Nah, that's not. Then Shikishima Kyo. Then Suzu. Right, thank you very much for that. That is business here is more than likely over with. I feel like I have a better understanding of who they are and where they came from. I managed to get the facts straight into my head.
そうか。
Yes? Can't judge if this will be adequate, however.
それでは、ゆうまくん。管理人代行としてここに今日移す覚悟は決まったかな？
Yes. Wait, by residence? What's that supposed to mean?
言葉の通り、君がここに住むということだよ。
What on earth is he suggesting for me to do? But why? How come it's necessary for me to live in the dome?
うん。まあ、それにはいろいろと思うところがあるんだけれど、これまでは君に、この管理人室の炭素の様子を確認してもらう程度のことをお願いしていたわけだ。
Of course, and I check it every day before I head back to my apartment.
あ、そこのところを疑ってるわけじゃもちろんないんだ。君のことは信用している。これまでも、これから先もずっとだ。ただね、
How so?
僕はこれから少し忙しくなる。彼女らの依頼を片付けるために時間を割かなくてはいけない。そうなると僕は心配になるんだ。もしも寮生たちの身に何かしらの問題が起きたとき、誰がそばにいて彼女たちの力になってやれるのだろうかって。万が一の時、僕は管理人代行として君が彼女たちの力になってくれないかと、そう望んでいるんだ。
Is that why you told me everything about them today?
そうだ。その通りだね。だけど、そういった万が一が起こったとき、君が彼女たちの近くにいなければ、何も対処のしようがない。違うかな？
Well,
だからそのような事態に備えて、君には、できるだけ彼女たちの近くにいてもらいたいんだよ。
what about Suzu? Couldn't she assume that
も
responsibility?
ちろん、彼女だって力になってくれるだろうし、実際とても頼りになる。だけど僕は、そこをあえて君にお願いしたいんだ。
Why me? He throws a bit of an awkward smile before continuing.
僕は君と夏目くんがここにいてくれれば、僕の留守を守ってくれればとても安心できるんだよ。そう、ここに今日移してほしいと最初に言ったけど、もちろん君が今住んでいるアパートを引き払ってほしいと、そういうことを言っているわけではないんだ。君にとってここに住むことがどうしても難しいようなら、僕の仕事が一段落するまでこの管理人室に寝泊まりしてくれる程度でも十分だ。どうかな？急な話だとは思うけど、了承してもらえれば僕は嬉しいんだ。
There's only one thing to say right now. Can I ask something?
ああ、もちろん。
How long do you estimate it'll be before your work comes
わ
down?
からない。だけどできるだけ早く。季節が3つ、いや2つ移り変わるまでには済ませたいと思ってる。今はそうとしか言えない。
Alright.
さて、答えを聞かせてもらえないかな。
どうするんだユーマ。引き受ける？それとも断る？
I suppose I can. Alright. I'll do it.
おお、そうか。そう言ってもらえると僕は助かるんだ。
However,
ん？
can I have one condition?
条件？
Yes. If you agree to it, then I'll live here like you want me to.
そうか。そういうのも悪くはないな。いや、むしろこういう流れこそが対等か。
He heaves a heavy sigh.
その条件というのは？
Were you planning to set out once you were through talking to me?
そうだな。日付が変わる前には出ようと思っていたんだけれど。
Alright. My condition is that I'd like you to join us for dinner tonight.
Huh?
Kana's gonna be working hard to prepare us all dinner tonight. You know what I'm getting at, right? His face immediately turns
今
pale.
から言うことは、かなちゃんには言わないでほしいんだけど。
Hmm?
この条件は命に関わると僕は思う。
Come on, please. Even though I'm the one who set this as a condition, I'm having to play with him. Quite frankly, I'm not sure I can handle it on my own.
そうは言ってもなかなかヘビーな条件だね、これは。
My rationale was simply that with an extra head, each person would have to eat less.
多分人数分作るんだろうからそういうことはないと思うけどな私は。
But your feelings are that I think it's hardly fair that he alone gets to avoid this torture while the rest of us suffer. Teamwork helps get everyone through trying times.
ユマ君、あの子の料理の味は知ってるか？
Yes, and it's hard to believe that I escaped with my life. In fact, it was such a shockingly bizarre taste that I want to ask her one of these days what exactly she put in there. But results aside, she's determined in trying her best, so I just can't bring myself to forbid her from cooking. It's incredibly hypocritical of me, I know.
そうだよな。
Just think of it as making sure the food she uses doesn't go to waste.
胃薬はあったかな？
Well, you don't have to come if you absolutely don't
い
want
や、
it.
わかった。これも交換条件。飲むしかないよ
Alright, see you at dinner then.
な。なあ、わかった。覚悟しておこう。
Oh, hey, it's the fucking murder scene again. Huh? Walk into the dining room and find Skasa sitting at the table. What are you doing here all by yourself?
お兄さんです。
So I guess it doesn't give you any either it doesn't give you any indication if you're in a route or not, or it just isn't the time yet. But this feels like whoever you picked first is gonna be sitting at the table. In fact, you know what? Actually, let me check that. Let me go with Kyo first again. Then on to Tsukasa. Then on to Suzu. Yep. Alright. So, I am officially treating this as the start of the route.
お兄さんです。
So yeah, I am officially treating this as route start. Or should I treat this as a route start? I feel like I should treat this as a route start. Well, you know what? I will treat this as route start, and if there's stuff after this that is still quote unquote common route, people will just know check out Tsukasa Route 1, Part 1 for those common route snippets. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Just want to say next time, bye bye. Shake my hand. I don't know why I did that.